So I'll invite Preeti Sharma. So to discuss about the mentorship and looking at the initiative which our government takes, that self-reliant India, that Atmanirbhar Bharat. How can women be encouraged to become tech entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Sharmishta, for having me on this panel. It's nice to see so many people I already know, and some of them also know my journey. I think what sets me apart is I'm the women entrepreneur in this group who's running a technology company for last 33 years without being a technology qualified person. So I think that gives a lot of hope to everybody that you don't really need to be a technology expert to run a technology company. And my experience was about how we should help ourselves. One of our panelists, Tanya, spoke about how we should help ourselves. So when I started my journey, there was so much resentment among my even my employee, the banker, the ecosystem. Everybody thought this is the wife of Pradyum because we are a husband and wife team running the company, and this woman, she'll probably go for pregnancy leave or she'll go for whatever, and she's just there and she's just a signatory. So for me to actually work on that bias and to make people change their mindset has been a very long journey. And in that journey, I realized that I need to help myself. So instead of me providing mentorship, I went and joined forums which provided mentorship to me. So the forums are two types. One is the forums which are formal forums. The one which I'm a member of is the forum called as Ascent Foundation. And the informal forums are all the networking forums we have, like HRIA, this forum, WHRA, all the forums which we attend is a perfect method to have mentorship to us. And it's a very subconscious way of mentorship. It's not a course or something, but every time you go and you interact with all the bright minds, which I see here also in various other forums, it kind of makes us understand how we can really use the entire setup and networking to make ourselves more competent. The other interesting point which I wanted to say is that when I'm in the Ascent Foundation and when I'm as part of a trust group, which is a mentorship program, there are 10 people, out of which there's probably only one woman. And how do I then influence the remaining nine to say, okay, I am competent actually? So, women in leadership starts by you participating in various mentorship programs so that you can convince the remaining nine how to see the perspective from a woman's side. And in my case, I also run the business along with the husband. So, it's also a family business. And how do you manage the entire dynamics of this whole thing is how has been the learning in terms of mentorship program. So my understanding of this whole thing is for us to tell other women to seek help wherever we can from whichever forums we could be associated with, because there's a huge learning in the formal mentorship and informal mentorship. Coming to the programs which Atmanirbhar is having, there are a lot of good programs. First main hurdle which any woman faces is the hurdle of family, but that Atmanirbhar can't really help there. So the family has to be supportive. The second biggest hurdle which women have is the hurdle of finance, because we don't have enough finance. And when we would go to a bank, the bank would be totally biased and says, you're a woman. I don't even know whether you're going to be long enough in the business. See, for a job, it's still easier. For entrepreneurship, it's much more difficult. So Atmanirbhar has a lot of programs like Mudra Yojana program, Mahila Udam Nidhi scheme, which means that the banks have a certain percentage of loans which they have to give a woman. And the women business should be at least 51% or more. So the thing about getting finances gets sorted by these programs. There are also programs where the banks are encouraged not to ask for collateral, because one of the challenges when you go to the bank will say, please give us some collateral you have, whether it's a flat or whether it's an insurance policy or whether it's a gold. And most women do not have any assets in their name. So the good thing which the Atmanirbhar program is doing is to have loans given to women without the need of providing any security. So that's another very good thing. There are other programs like the programs from the Niti Aayog. which is the Women Entrepreneurship Platform, which is an ecosystem of women across India to realize the entrepreneurial aspirations. A lot of work is being done by the government to encourage women in tech and non-tech areas. So these are the various programs. With the fact that we are running short of time, I would like to end by saying that I think it's the way we conduct ourselves is how people will view women. We conduct ourselves with, empowerment mindset. That's how everybody else. So the best way is to be a beacon of light for everybody else. So thank you, Piyush. Thank you, Sharmishta, for having me on this panel.